what's going on, everybody? It's the Harris Family Unit here with Harris Family TV.
Hey.
Guys, we are coming to y'all from outside on this beautiful day in Atlanta. Weather is good. Katie had a few little allergies, so we probably won't be long tonight. And I just wanted to talk to y'all a little bit, share a little bit of information, and see how everybody's doing. Please feel free to like, share, and ask many questions. And we're here to answer all the questions you guys got. What you got, love?
As you can see, Kaden is not feeling well again. But I think it was because he shook a lot of hands on Sunday. And this is our little sick child. I think everyone has a child like that. You think so? They get sick more than the other one?
Yeah. We did shake quite a few hands, and it was ironic that we got home that night. Kaden started sniffling, and about maybe minutes later I started sniffling. So that's why we kind of think it was that particular event, because we both shook the same hands pretty much that day. But he always a little fighter though. That's my buddy.
And on top of that, he has allergies, so
Yeah.
he's rubbing his little nose right now.
Yeah. Say hey to everybody, buddy.
Hey.
Hey. Kaden, you have one more day of school. How you feel about that?
Excited.
Are y'all?
So you gonna go to bed early tonight so you can get up earlier or
Yeah.
quicker?
What are y'all gonna do tomorrow?
Our teachers buy an ice cream machine so we can make our own ice creams and slushies.
Oh man, I need to come and see you tomorrow, huh? And Kennedy, today was your last day, wasn't it?
Yes.
How was it?
Good and kinda not good.
Why was it good and kind of not good?
It's good because I'm happy because it's summer vacation, but I'm not happy because I'm gonna miss my friends, and this is my last year at my school,
Yeah.
and I have to go to another school and another daycare.
Yeah. Well, you got everybody's contact though. You know, we always do play dates and always stay in touch with everybody.
If you can hear us good, give us some hearts.
Yeah, we're outside, so we kind of had to mic up a little bit today. So what are we gonna do for the summer?
Well, we decided not to do camp this year. We did camp last year. We loved it. They went to math camp. They learned a lot, really. They learned some songs that went with math and helped them learn things throughout the year. They went on a field trip every single day, and so they loved that. But this year we want to switch it up because we're doing a little traveling, and they would miss a lot of weeks of camp, and so we're gonna learn some things at home. I don't want to keep their minds idle during the summer. I want to always keep them learning. And so we're gonna make sure we're studying reading and math, and the places that we're visiting, we're gonna study them before we go. So that's gonna be a learning experience as well.
I remember in school we used to always like learn about the pyramids and all kind of places like that, the Grand Canyon, just different places. And it's nothing like actually taking your kids there to submerge themselves in that particular environment to be able to either see the pyramids, see Niagara Falls, or just different places of the world like that firsthand, as opposed to just reading it in a book. So we're actually taking the book, making the book reality basically, and just
History book.
yeah, actually living it out in real time. So you excited, buddy?
Yes.
Yeah.
What do you want to do over the summer? What do you want to do, Kennedy?
Kennedy, what you want to do over the summer?
I know you want to go swimming,
Yeah.
Yes.
so we're gonna do that. We need to get a pool pass. What's some things you want to do, Kaden? Skating, maybe.
Yes.
Kaden want to eat wings every day.
That's not gonna happen at all. But I heard there was some online camps, so if you don't want to do anything outside of the house, I'm actually kind of interested. Like they're gonna keep up their math and reading on an online camp for a certain amount of time during the day. So I don't have a whole lot of information, but I'm interested.
Cool.
And some people do summer packets, so you can kind of tell them like your grade level and what you want them to be learning, and for like $20 they'll give you a summer packet for your kids. Hi Belinda.
Hey, Blender. Oh, what else?
Let's talk about the travel a little bit.
Okay. We traveling soon.
Very soon.
I think we got what, about 2 weeks out?
Yes.
weeks from today, so y'all know how we do. And it's gonna be a secret until we get to wherever we're going. Whatever.
But it's gonna be great.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be real great, real great. So we're looking forward to that. The kids are super excited about that, and of course we'll do plenty of photos. I'm actually gonna do some swimming, kind of, sort of. Okay, I'm getting in the water about knee deep.
With a life jacket on.
With a life jacket. I'll probably do a little snorkeling. I enjoyed that last time.
Yeah, we're definitely gonna snorkel.
And I'm trying to graduate my way up to scuba diving.
Really?
One day. So we'll see how that go. And we're gonna do quite a bit of traveling over the summer, actually. And a little bit more later on into the year, we're gonna do some more traveling as well. Kenny over there making the weirdest faces.
Because he's annoying bugs.
Yeah, annoying bugs. Well, tell us about your field day. You had well, before we talk about field day, what did you do? What happened yesterday at school? You had honors day.
Honors day.
And tell us what you got yesterday.
And I got every honor roll in front of the whole 3rd grade.
And were we proud of you or what?
You are surely proud of me. And they came out to support me.
Oh, always.
Absolutely.
You know that.
And thank you for the lipstick.
JoJo, that's Miss Tamel's daughter.
Yep. And you got you bought yourself a gift too. End of the school year gift. What did you buy yourself?
I bought myself a ring.
You like it?
Yes.
Cool. We just got to get it fitted a little bit, get it resized. You want to hold it up so everybody can see it?
Yep.
And how did you buy it? Well, who bought it? Did you buy it or we bought it?
I bought it with the money of my business.
Hold it up so they can see it. On that side, right there. There you go.
What is it? It's a crown, right?
Yes, it's a crown.
Okay, have a seat. You hogging all the airtime, huh?
What made you want that ring?
I just wanted it because I think it was beautiful. I wanted it because I think it looks beautiful. And yeah, I think I deserve a gift.
That's right. You surely do. You surely do. And it's a good feeling to be able to buy your own stuff too, huh?
Yes.
Cool.
So parents out there, do your kids have any pets? Because I'm not really with the pet thing.
Me neither.
Me or Kaden. But Sean wants a dog. Kennedy wants the dog.
Yeah.
Why can't we just get like a fish or like a turtle
That's
or something?
boring.
Yeah, very boring.
What about a turtle?
Oh no, they die too quick.
Turtles die?
Yeah. I think the longest I ever kept a turtle was about a week.
What? Maybe you're just bad with turtles.
No, I feed them lettuce and all that kind of stuff, and this lettuce just dry out. But I think all kids, especially boys, should have a dog. Kennedy want a little foo-foo dog. What kind of dog you want, Levy? The Maltese?
Maltese.
Well, I want a Rottweiler. I've always been a Rottweiler dog, so I think big dogs are the best.
You said you always been a Rottweiler dog.
Oh, wow. I've always dealt with Rottweilers. I've had 6 Rottweilers in my life. We had a German Shepherd when I was little. And I actually had a horse. How many of you guys actually had a horse and lived in the city? I lived in the city limits of Atlanta, and we had a little Shetland pony. And I think that was kind of short-lived. I think we probably had him for a few months. I walked behind him one day and he kicked the fire out of me, so Mom said he had to go. And I'm surprised I don't have permanent marks on my chest today from that.
Well, tell them what happened to your chicks.
Oh, we had little chickens. Easter, I think it was Easter. My dad had bought me and my brother some little chicks. They're about that big, and we were just so happy and excited, and we thought we were gonna be able to bring them in for the night. And of course, April is still a little cool, so Mom said those chickens are not coming in the house, and so we had to let them stay outside on the carport at that time. And I remember we got up that next morning just like ready to run outside, excited to go see our little chickens and go feed them. And guess what, buddy?
We weren't there.
No, they were there. They were like popsicles. They were frozen. So, needless to say, they died. And I always tell my mom she killed my chickens, but she said she didn't mean for them to die, but she wasn't gonna bring them in the house. Okay, I don't have my glasses on. I gotta get up a little bit so I can read. Let's see. No to the dog.
Thank you,
Deja's dying for one. Well, if we have puppies, we'll make sure we give Deja one.
Because who's gonna really take care of the dog, Belinda? Like, tell the truth. The kids are not gonna take care of them. They're gonna be excited the first week, and then all the responsibility is gonna be on me.
And Kaden definitely won't pick up poop. But that's what I do. I'm good at dogs, so I'll take care of them.
Me too.
I have never had a pet, like, ever.
Kennedy will take care of them for like 2 weeks.
No, more than that.
More than 2? Okay, 3 weeks. You gonna feed them? You gonna clean up the poop?
I'll let that up to you.
Leave that to me, huh?
You know they don't come potty trained, Kennedy.
Yeah, you gotta train them. And potty train and show them how to go on the paper and then ultimately how to go outside on their own. And what other kind of... Oh, I had gerbils. They were kind of cool, I guess, for a boy, like a little bit of little rat, mouse, hamster little thingy. But they make a lot of noise at night. They always shred the paper. So you put like nice flat paper in about 30 minutes, so they shred it all up. That's the habitat. And I'll tell you another cool pet I had. I had a water dog. You ever heard of a water dog?
Yeah, those little ugly fish.
It's like a lizard, eel, shark, fish kind of thingy all together. But they were pretty cool too. I really enjoyed those.
Well, DJ had a fish one time. His auntie bought him, right? And so Kaden thought that he would be a good little brother and feed the fish. And he put half the jar of fish food in the tank.
At one time.
At one time. And I was like, oh my God, the fish is going to eat all this food and die. So let me clean out the tank. So I said, let me clean out the tank or the fish is going to eat all this food and die. I cleaned out the tank and 3 days later the fish died anyway.
Oh, but he had a full belly though. That little belly was poked out. But Kaden killed the fish.
No.
No.
He did.
No.
Yeah, he had a big old belly. I don't like fish too tough. They're kind of boring.
They are boring.
Yeah. But I do like sharks. You know, I've always considered having an island, an aquarium and an island in the kitchen with some 3-foot bull shark. That's always been something I always wanted to do. So we'll get around to that one day.
Oh boy.
Yeah. So what other kind of pet would you rather have? You don't want gerbils, you don't want dogs, you definitely don't want cats. I had cats too. I love cats.
I hate cats.
I
They're
hate
pretty cool.
cats.
Me
too.
too.
You don't hate cats?
Yeah.
The only thing
When
I
I
don't... Why do y'all don't like cats?
When I used to have a cat, it always pooped, and even though we trained it, it still pooped on the ground.
Well, that one cat, he was kind of out there. He wasn't quite wrapped right. I remember which one you talking about, the little black cat. But my other cat, I had a little cat. His name was PV, and he was a good cat. Well, he liked me. He hated everybody else, but he loved me. But the only thing I didn't like about him, and I didn't know because I never owned cats prior to him before, is that boy cat spray. And that stuff is like permanent. They'll spray on the walls, the furniture, all that kind of stuff. So you got to get them fixed, neutered, spayed, whatever you do for the boy, the girl, cats, whatever.
You had a cat one time, and I was trying to be nice to the cat. I don't like cats. And he jumped in my lap, so I said, okay, I'll just pet him a little bit.
That was your mistake.
Well, he jumped in my lap.
Well, they want you to rub them for their specific time frame, then they out.
Well, he should have got down.
Yeah, see, most cats don't like to be rubbed for like maybe 5 or 10 seconds, then they out and they're on their way. So he just had his little time limit.
So that confirms we're not getting a cat.
Yeah, no cat, I guess.
We're getting a dog.
That's right, Bow Wow.
No.
A big
He's
dog.
gonna be in a cage till one of y'all get home.
Lock my dogs up. What else we gonna talk about?
What do you want to talk about?
I don't know. Let's see. We talked a little bit about homeschool last week. So I think we made our final decision. Katie's gonna get homeschooled. We're still working that process out for baby girl to get her homeschooled. She'll be going to a new school this year, so she's not like totally thrilled about that. So on that note,
She said if they had lockers, maybe I'd consider it. But
yeah. What's the big thing with lockers?
she watches the TV shows and they're in high school and they have lockers and they're decorated. So she wants to decorate a locker.
Just like Kate in high school.
Yeah.
Oh, and because Kaden had a locker.
You would have hurt nature, buddy. All right, well, I guess we got to wrap up because I don't want Kaden to get too much worse off with the allergies here. He up here hurting. Y'all know normally he's a little talkative, but he's been struggling for the last couple weeks. He had a little cold, a little bout with his asthma.
Ear infection.
Area.
Ear infection. asthma, inflamed his lungs. He was on a steroid. He was on.
He did get a little stronger. Look,
He got stronger.
Buddy, tell us about your event real quick before we go. You had a great event this past weekend. How did it go?
I won a trophy at the event.
Mm-hmm. And can you tell us what kind of event it was? Or how many kids were there?
It was a speaking event, and I won out of 31 kids.
Mm-hmm. How many look like you?
0.
0. Yeah, there was one other one that looked similar to you, but that's one of the things that we always talk about is to have exposure. You know, a lot of times we get so used to just doing the, I guess what we call stereotypical type activities in our culture, but you know, we always felt it's important to get these guys around different cultures, different environments, different opportunities to excel, you know, outside of sports or just entertainment, stuff like that. So both Kenny and Katie have been going to Toastmaster classes. They have speaking events. We put them around situations where they are in a position to have critical thinking. I think that's one of the biggest things is to make sure that your kids can be effective critical thinkers, because that's going to be one of the soft skills that they're going to have in order to make it.
What were the other soft skills they taught them or talked about at the speaking event?
Well, most of the soft skills that most kids should develop is stuff like having debating skills, being able to, and not being argumentative, but just to be able to have a viewpoint or to express your particular opinion about something, why you feel that way. Negotiating, that's always a big skill. These two right here are always negotiating with us every day.
Especially this one.
And you know, you remember we did the post not too long ago. Caden actually talked. He wanted 5 extra minutes and was willing to pay for 5 extra minutes to stay woke. And the reason why is because he wanted to finish a project that he was doing before he went to bed. So he valued his time more than the money.
The wings over the weekend. I was like, Caden, you know, I don't want to get wings. I don't want to eat out too much. And he's like, well, what'd he say? What you say, Caden?
I'll buy them.
Yep. So Caden bought dinner for us all that night. And
he negotiated his dinner.
Yeah. So, you know, both kids, we teach them the responsibility about money, how to negotiate, how to work things out. Not to pay full price if you don't have to, because as business owners, that's one thing we don't do. Because as business owner, your goal is to maximize profit while minimizing expenses. So, you know, all the time we don't pay full price for stuff. We negotiate stuff and see what's going to be best suited for our needs as well. But the thing is, it's not that you're wanting to get stuff discounted. It's just it needs to be a win-win for everybody.
Absolutely.
So one thing we always do is win-win-win scenario, where we win, they win, and we all win collectively. And I think that's just the best way to do business, but it also teaches you negotiating skills, which I think no matter what a kid does in life or adults, we all should have great negotiating skills, because that's where society is going. Professional, no matter what career you're in, whether you're a business owner, whether you're an employee, the number one thing is that you want to be able to have good people skills or speaking skills. That's one of the most important things, is to have good public speaking skills, because you never know when you may be called on the carpet to disseminate some information, whether it's to relate to your company or yourself. You know, sometimes you have to pitch yourself, even if it's in a job situation. You still need to be able to pitch yourself for perhaps a promotion or just a business of your own.
Yeah, one of the things that our goals this year is to have a more diverse group of friends, group of business associates. I noticed in one of the events we went to this weekend, like everybody who looked like each other, they were like in their own groups. Mm-hmm. And it shouldn't be that way. And right. You should be able to communicate, to relate, and everything to people that don't look like you.
Mm-hmm. And that's one thing I was saying at the event. One of the icebreakers that the presenter, when he first came on stage, he gave an icebreaker, and he suggested that everyone turn to the person next to you who you don't know. So you couldn't turn to your own spouse or your family member. You had to turn to somebody that you didn't know and introduce yourself. And he only gave us like maybe 45 seconds to a minute to find what the commonality between you and that person was. So the guy that was sitting next to me, he was about, I would say he's maybe in his early 70s. He was from Indian descent. He was from Delhi, actually, and we actually talked, and within about maybe 20 seconds of us both conversing back and forth, we both found out that we are avid travelers. He's gone to places I've traveled, I've gone to places he's traveled, and we both recommended places to each other that the other had not traveled to, And I remember when they got on stage, she said, "Okay, time's up." And he and I, we were still talking, but we didn't even realize that the conversation was going back to the stage at that point. So we subsequently continued that conversation a little bit later. And actually, I made a friend. So again, who would think I'm 46, African American guy, became friends with a 71, 72-year-old guy from India. And that's one thing I was telling Tara. I was like, it's cool just to be able to network and befriend other people who have different cultures, different mindsets, different ideologies, different cultural practices. You know, I've always made a point to have different nationalities. You know, I grew up around a lot of Japanese people. My family had a lot of friends that have a lot of Japanese background, so konnichiwa. I do know a few words and phrases in Japanese, but that gave me an appreciation for different cultures at an early age. And a matter of fact, I'll tell you a story. You guys know Tara and I both were military. She was Navy, I was Air Force, go Air Force, we're the best. But anyway, I remember when I got to basic training, a guy, I posted a picture today. So for you guys that saw my post earlier, you saw I posted a picture of my basic training flight. There were only 2 African American guys. Everybody else was Caucasian. I think we had one guy, he was Spanish descent. 2 guys were Spanish descent. But me and McClendon, we were the only 2 brothers in the picture. So I made it a little funny, like, I bet you can't find me. But I remember one guy, he came up to me and he said, "Can I touch you?" And immediately I kind of like took it back and I was like, "What do you mean, can you touch me?" "No, you can't touch me." But he said, "Please don't take offense." He said, "I was from Nebraska. We were like 17, 18 years old." And he said, "I had never seen an African American man or person before in person." So he asked, "Can I touch your skin just to see if it's the same?" And I was like, "Yeah, touch my arm." So he touched my skin. He said, "Man, it feels just like mine." And we became 2 of the best friends in that flight during basic training. So that's why it's important just to be able to diversify. And we always like to expose the kids around different cultures and different mindsets.
Something similar happened to me in boot camp. And you know, I went to boot camp like many years after you. But there was a girl, she was from Minnesota, and she said, "Well, there's only about 2 colored people in my whole school." And you know, all of us African American girls looked at her like, "Did you just say colored?" In 2002. But I mean, we think there's, you know, that because we experienced something where we live, that it's like that everywhere, and it's not. But it did, you know, the military allowed us to be around a bunch of different types of people. And I went to a school that was mixed with everybody anyway, so I've always grew up around all nationalities.
Yeah. Same thing like with Kennedy, when she first went to preschool and 1st grade, 2nd grade, she went to a predominantly Caucasian school, and then we noticed by the time she got to 2nd grade, it was starting to switch a little bit to where now it's a predominantly African American school. Same thing with Caden school. Caden goes to a technology school, and even though like 95% of the kids there have brown skin, most of them are of Ethiopian descent in different parts of the world, Middle Eastern. So he gets a vast variety of selection of friends to be able to pick. And when he would come home and say some of the names, I was like, wow, you have like almost everybody in your class are from multiple different parts of the world. I remember when I went to school, from the kindergarten to the 4th grade, I went to an African American predominantly school. And we had a process here in Atlanta that was called the M2M program, which was majority to minority. So pretty much for older people past my generation, it's called busing, where you actually get on the bus. And I just remember taking the bus like 6 o'clock in the morning, going all the way across town. But then when I was in 5th grade to the 9th grade, I went to a predominantly Caucasian school. And then that school closed, and I came back to my home school, 10th, 11th, 12th grade, finished out there, which was an African American school. So I think when I went to the military, that's where I was so well diverse and acclimated with so many different cultures. And I think that, well, I know for a fact that carries over today, just the way I conduct myself, the way I conduct business, my interactions. You know, I can operate in Bankhead, I can operate in Buckhead. It doesn't really matter. So that's one of the key things I think is super important about inclusion and diversity.
And you learn a lot from other cultures where you may TV or you may think a certain thing about people that are from the Middle East or people because of everything that's going on. But when we went to Dubai, we met people on the plane. They were from Pakistan and everywhere, Iran, and they were nice people.
Yeah, and you notice on that particular trip, we noticed that, you know, we travel internationally quite a bit, but that one trip in particular, we noticed so many different nationalities at the airport in Dubai. And the common theme that we saw is that most people that we were coming in contact with spoke multiple languages. Yeah. I'm talking about people, if you spoke less than 3 to 5 languages, you're like looked down upon. So again, that shows how important it is to diverse and get acclimated with so many different cultures. We had a great trip. And I remember, you know, the first time I went to Jamaica, you know, everybody in Jamaica looked like us. But dude, it's people of Asian descent, and they speak, you would think you would listen to Bob Marley talk, unless you took a look at them and saw that they're from different nationalities. So I think that's one of the biggest things. That's the biggest joy I get for traveling. It's just meeting so many different people, so many different cultures, different ways of life. You guys know about me eating ants and bee larvae when we went to Thailand. So that was pretty cool. So I'm excited to see what we're going to eat at the next place we're going.
Oh, yeah.
Kennedy, what's some of those foods you like? Like when we went to Jamaica, what did you like the most?
I like the rice with the meat in it.
The what? The curry?
Yeah.
Yeah, you had curry goat before. You like curry goat? I like goat head soup too. For my Jamaican folks, wagwan. It's just a greeting. Oh, and you, tell everybody what you guys collect. Like whenever we go to a different country, what do you guys like? What do you like for us to always bring you back if you don't travel? If you do travel, what do you always get?
Hats.
Hats. You always collect hats with that particular country or city. What about you, Kennedy? What do you collect?
Purses and hats.
Purses and hats. So we always make sure that we got a lot of stuff. And Terry, you got a little something that you keep on your wrist every time we travel to a different country.
It's my favorite thing. I have a travel bracelet, and it's called a Italian charm bracelet. And so you can put the flag of the place that you're going or the places that you've been. So my bracelet has a flag from each of the countries we've been to.
And
Miss Terry and Daddy get things when they travel all the time.
Yeah.
They get wine glasses. I mean, sugar glasses.
Sugar cups,
No,
right?
No.
Kennedy goes to call it by the real name, a shot glass.
Shot glasses.
Yeah, we collect shot glasses and bring back souvenirs for some of the friends and stuff as well. And what else we do when we travel?
You know, I always have to do something adventuresome.
Always.
Something dealing with nature.
She jumped off a cliff.
Yeah, that's one thing she always does.
Me too.
Kennedy jumped too. And she always finds a waterfall. No matter where we go in the world, she always makes sure she finds a waterfall.
It was 30 or 20 something feet.
Yeah, 30 feet. About 30 feet deep. And the 2 jellyfish over here jumped in. And one thing about Kennedy, and again, I think that's another thing for as far as exposure and example. Kennedy can swim, but she never been in water that deep before. And just having the confidence and the faith. And if you see behind us, we have a Sikh walking by. So that's what I'm talking about, man. You got to put yourself in environments where you have different nationalities, different cultures. But anyway, Kennedy felt so comfortable with Tara just telling her everything's going to be great. Just come on, let's jump. And they end up jumping in. And that actually gave me the insight to go ahead and jump too. So I jumped, and I totally cannot swim. So one of the guys there, he said, trust me, I'll catch you when you jump down to the bottom. Keep in mind, this guy was like, maybe 125 pounds. I was like, something about this just don't seem right. But needless to say, he grabbed me and pulled me to the side so I didn't drown, thankfully.
But Daddy, you had a lifeguard jacket, so you are safe.
I know, but the life,
you just go down and then you just come back up.
but they don't work for me. I still sink, even if I have a jacket on.
Babe, they work. You used it when we went to Thailand and you snorkeled at Fifi Island.
Yeah.
And you didn't know how to use it. You just need to lay on your stomach. You were like trying to stand straight up with a life jacket.
I guess that's a teaching point. If you don't know how to use the tools and equipment, you can get yourself in some trouble. But I did learn though, and I really enjoyed it. Now let's talk about that. When we went to Jamaica, somebody didn't get in the water, Everybody else in the caption here, you see we all jumped in the water to go snorkeling, but somebody didn't want to go, and it was beautiful.
He said it was fish poop in there, and he didn't want fish poop on him.
Yeah. Caden is a little bougie like that at times. But you're going snorkeling on the next trip, though, right? Yes, he'll be going. Okay, you have to stay on the boat. But that was a whole nother thing to me that I was missing out on, just having such a fear or inclination of not wanting to get in the water. And then when I finally got in there, man, I saw Nemo and blowfish and everything was under there, and that was the coolest thing. So now it's like, I want to go scuba diving so I can get to see more of that kind of stuff.
He's like, hey babe, look. And then I got something planned for our second trip during the summer too. We're gonna go swimming with the sea turtles into it, and it's near a shipwreck.
Are there sharks nearby?
Who knows?
Well, I'm hoping so. I want to swim with the sharks. I'm adventurous, so.
I'm not swimming with no sharks.
Well,
you know how in movies, when the only thing you see, she's just a person just swimming. Ooh, it's just so nice. And then the shark, then they're like, what's going on? They just see something. They try to get out, and then all the thing pulling down, and then blood in the water.
So the shark just appear and just take them under, huh?
Mm-hmm. Just eat
well,
them.
and
Off first.
the place we're going in 2 weeks, they have nurse sharks.
I'm gonna swim with them.
I'm still not
and
swimming with
dolphins.
no sharks.
We have to study nurse sharks because
Nurse sharks are kind of dolphins.
Yeah, they don't eat like people.
Well, I don't want to find
They're
out.
not supposed to be aggressive, but we'll have to research that.
I think that's what we saw when we went to Mexico.
It is.
To,
when the people were swimming with them.
Riviera Maya, wherever we were at. I think that's where we went.
We were at Xcaret.
Yeah, that's a nice spot. If you guys are ever in Mexico, Xcaret is a wonderful place. They got incredible shows. It was incredible.
And their animals are different. Like, you know, when you go to the zoo here, or the aquarium, the animals are like behind glass.
You're actually in their habitat.
Yes, because when we saw the turtles. It's like you can walk right over in with the turtles if you're not paying attention.
Stingrays.
The stingrays, the nurse sharks.
And you can swim with the nurse sharks there.
Yeah.
I would have did it, but I just can't swim.
And it's a lot of the other animals too. They had like monkeys, like
Tell them about
nothing was closed in.
Tell them about them vicious pelicans or whatever it was that chased me. Oh man.
The swans. Wasn't it? It was a pelican.
Yeah, it was pelicans.
It was a pelican.
You know,
Sean was trying to take a picture with one.
I always got to get that good shot, right? So I'm trying to get some video footage, camera, and everybody was all back. And I think it was science to say it don't go over there, but Mr. Harris don't follow any directions. Tell him, baby, I don't follow no directions.
Like when we were at this hotel and it said no running.
And what did I do?
Run.
Who
ran?
Who ran with me?
Me.
That's
'Cause
right.
I was trying to catch y'all.
My little rule breaker over there. But whenever I'm in trouble, it's usually with her. But yeah, the pelican, I tried to get some good shots, and I kind of crossed over the little rocks in the water. And next thing you know, I'm posing, trying to take a selfie. And next thing you know, I hear something snipping at my ear, and the penguins were under attack. Well, I was under attack by the penguins.
And everybody else started running the other way.
And they was just quacking and flapping. Everybody, the whole park just was up in an uproar. So, I guess I better follow directions next time.
It was funny.
Yeah. What else? What's some travel tips? If people wanted to travel, because I know a lot of times people can say, well, Sean and Terry, y'all travel quite a bit. How do y'all do that? How do you budget for it? Is it expensive? And I think a lot of times people think that, well, here's the deal. We found out that a lot of places we travel outside of the country, whether it's a cruise or all-inclusive, whatever, you'll pay about the same amount of money that you would pay if you spent the weekend or a week down in Miami or somewhere here stateside. So Tara has all kind of tricks of the trade of how she comes up with phenomenal pricing, how we can travel. So what would be a tip for someone who maybe wants to travel but don't quite know how or think it could be pricey or overly expensive?
One thing is to look at off-season pricing, because when you try to travel a lot of places during the summer, plane tickets are going to be higher, resorts are going to be higher. So if you can go, and it's a warm place, if you can go around, you know, like Christmas break or, you know, November, or how they do the break in October, if you can go around those months rather than the summer, it is a little bit cheaper. And
hurricane season is a great time to travel too, because you tend to get lower rates if you're going on cruises, for an example. But I think so many people, we always hear it, I'm not getting on a boat, I'm not getting on an airplane. Man, you're missing out on life if you don't travel. But, you know, if there is a hurricane, the ship is not going to be in any distress. They're going to always just go to a different port of call where it will be safe. So even if there is a hurricane, they'll just take a different path. And I remember I've been to like Bahama, like, 17 times. And I remember that time when they said there was going to be a hurricane coming through, so they diverted us and sent us to Puerto Rico. That was like 10 years ago, I guess. But I had never been to Puerto Rico, and I did not mind missing Bahamas for the 18th time. So, you know, they're not going to put the ships in harm's way, so guys, you'll always be able to have an enjoyable trip and so forth like that.
One of the other things I do is I buy the plane tickets first. I'm like, there's always going to be somewhere to stay.
Yeah.
So I may buy plane tickets, like, for this trip. I think I bought them last year.
Yeah.
And so I'll get the plane tickets. I paid for where we're staying. I paid for that in January. So I space things out. I like to do all-inclusives if they're available, because then when you go, you know everything is paid for. All you have to do is pay for anything you're doing outside the resort. So that is always helpful, rather than thinking that just because you're paying $99 a night at a Hilton or something, but once you have to pay for each meal, it's going to add up to about the same amount.
Yeah. I think we need to do that. One of the shows we need to dedicate strictly for traveling, because we got so many different travel tips and tricks and so forth. And what?
One thing we do too is we don't just go and stay in one place, because we like to explore different resorts. So we may stay, if we're staying a week, we may stay half the time at one resort and half the time at another one, and we might decide, hey, I like this one better or that one, or because when we did that when we went to Thailand. And the first one, it was phenomenal. The second one was nice. I just didn't like that it was up on a hill. And so we had to do a lot of walking back and forth. And so then when you have bags, it's hard. Like, they took us to our room when we first got there on a golf cart. But
after that, you're on your own.
Yeah, that's the only thing I didn't like. But each room had its own pool. It was really nice. I just didn't like the hill.
Yeah. And I guess too, just like food, that's the other thing too. I think so many people, we travel with some family at times, and first thing they do is, I want some pizza, or I want some hot wings. So I was like, man, you can get that back in the States. So wherever we go, we always make sure that we immerse ourselves in the cuisine in that particular region of the world. So I think that's another big one.
Always have cash on hand. Always contact your bank before you go.
Yeah. Tell them why. Why to contact your bank in advance.
Because they will think somebody stole your card, and you will be stuck with no money.
And they will shut your account.
If you cannot use your phone overseas, then you're really stuck.
Yeah. So definitely do that, and understand your cash exchange. If you don't understand that, make sure you study up on that before you get there, and know how to will and live. Because one thing I noticed, like in the Caribbean countries, a lot of times, you know, and a lot of times people like to do exchanges, whether you're going to bring back a Jamaican dollar for an American dollar, etc. But you got to understand the value. To us in the U.S., you can just look at it, hey, it was just $1. But over there, that was a lot of money. So a lot of times people may want to swap out, or they'll try to give you change back in their denominations. So if you're not going to use it for souvenir money, whatever, go ahead and make sure that they give you back your U.S. currency, if they do currency like that. Because where we're about to go, they really don't use American dollars. So definitely have to do an exchange rate.
Yes, and one thing Sean always does is he hires a driver for whenever we're there. It's not like, let's take a taxi here or take a ride there. That person is who we deal with the whole time. He'll hire them for the whole day. Like, don't pick anybody else up.
That's right.
Here specifically for us.
I buy their time.
Yes.
Yeah, and that's like you said, you know, so many people, they're weary, or it's like, well, I got to get the travel agency or the transfer that they recommend through the resort or whatever. Man, we've traveled so much, and I think, remember when I was in the military, I went going so many different places where people that look like me are well accepted pretty much anywhere in the world without any worries or having to be obvious that you're a tourist or anything like that. So I just get a driver, you know. I always got good discernment and good judgment, and I know how to just pick them out. And that's another thing too, you got to know how to wheel and deal.
Yeah.
Because if they think you don't know what you're doing, or you're not a well-traveled person, they will try to give you some outrageous price when it comes to traveling around or whatever. You know, most places, if it's like a 45-minute transfer from your airport or the dock area, they'll probably charge you like anywhere between $75 a head. But you know, I tell them right up front, here's $100, take me and my family where I want to go, and then I'll just buy their time out for the whole time I'm there. Like Tara said, I just tell them, hey, you dedicated to me my whole stay here, and I pay them handsomely. So
Yes, because they're all on our Facebook. Like, when are y'all coming back?
yeah, a lot of you guys probably see it. All my people, they always like, yo, we miss y'all, come back and everything, and you know, I stay in contact with them. So when we do travel, you know, we don't go to tourist type places. You'll find us, we'll be in the hood. You know, we're up in somebody's house in the living room, introducing us to their parents. And I remember I got a buddy of mine in Jamaica. You know, he just sent his little kid to go get us some coconuts and have coconut water. That is good too. It's really good for the heart. But that's the thing. It's just enjoy life, enjoy traveling, and just meeting so many different people.
When we met our driver in Costa Rica, he picked us up, and we're going to the volcano. He's like, okay, I need to stop right here, and so he gets out of the van and he goes down the corner, and I'm
Like
like,
half a block.
yes, I'm thinking in my head, I'm like, I don't want to say anything, but I hope we don't end up on the sex trade.
We had the kids and everything. It was funny. But he was meeting his wife, and she was parked. They was trying to get the coordinates together. But that was funny though.
It was.
And we laugh about that to this day. But he ended up being one of our best friends. His name is Martin, and as a matter of fact, he's gonna do a video for you guys too, explaining that he was working for a company at the time, and since that, what was that, like 2.5 years ago? Almost.
You don't know how long you've been married?
It was when we got married. But anyway, when I was talking to him, you know, he was working for a company as a driver, and I asked him, I said, hey, you ever thought about having your own business? So as a result of our business system and our academy that we teach people how to start their own business and everything, Martin now owns his own business in Costa Rica in the travel industry, and he's doing incredibly well, making tons of money. And remember, that was one of the things he wanted, was to be able to get his time back and to be able to spend time with his family. Because I remember that day, I was like, man, do you have a family to go to? He said, yes, but I need to make the money. So I remember I told him, look, go ahead and take us back early so he can enjoy the rest of his time with his family that night. I think he had a newborn not too long before that. So that was good, just to be able to go to another country and be able to help folks out in establishing generational wealth there. Because, you know, generational wealth transcends no matter where you are in the world. You all right, buddy? All right.
Let's get out of here, man.
Yeah. Caden is going into episode mode, so we're gonna go get him taken care of. And Kennedy's over there swatting mosquitoes
Flies.
and stuff. But anyway, we look forward to seeing you guys. But if you guys want to for us to do a whole segment on a subsequent show strictly about travel, we'd love to do that and just kind of tell you guys all of the ins and outs. Stay tuned, because in 2 weeks when we do the show, we're going to be back here next Wednesday, but 2 weeks from this Wednesday, you don't want to miss that one.
Yes.
You definitely want to miss that one. We will be on location on some undisclosed location somewhere on the planet. Can't tell you yet, but you'll see. So signing out, guys. Look forward to seeing all you guys. Feel free to inbox us on the replay, shoot any questions that you guys have, and we'll be more than happy to address them.
Good
Anything,
night.
love?
Nope. Good
Y'all say
night,
good night.
guys.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.